Hey guys, this is Az here and thank you so much for joining me again. We're down to the last four in the lower bracket of the May Netrunner Regionals held in Bangor. The legal data pack up to this point is Salset Island and we're heading down to see Oisin, my favourite red-headed Dubliner after Sheamus in WWE of course. Facing off against Jordan Saxby, both these guys were knocked down but have fought the way. Jared and Gary unfortunately get knocked out and these two now facing to fight for survival and go on to play Daryl to make it through to the grand final. On the left hand side then, Oisin's playing Noise, and on the right we have Jordan with his Polana again. So this Polana, the same as one we saw previously, a little bit tricky, lots of low cost agendas with Nisei's mixed in, so you get the Brain Trusts, Medical Breakthroughs, Chaotic Entanglements, and a nice little Kronos project as well. On Oisin's side, he does play a little bit of a faster Noise, so he runs Wild Side, but he also runs Making an Entrance alongside it, and I've had worse for quick draws. He's got a couple of employee strikes and an archive interface to really help him deal with those asset spam decks. Now, I do believe Jordan kept his opening hand where Oisin actually decided to mull for his. Sweeps! 3 sweeps actually in Jordan's deck, 6 influence given to those slots. And install. I'm sure I'm going to say Oisin lots of different ways. I always feel like I'm getting it wrong every time I say hello to him, but he's awfully good about it. So Wild Side, Data Sucker, going to check Archives straight away, sees the Psychic Field and gets a Data Sucker token. When we last saw Jordan take on Noise against Ben's first 2 mills were 4 points worth of agendas and it put Jordan behind pretty much from the get-go, a really difficult game, so Oisin not off to such a lucky start. Celebrity Gift coming out showing Inazuma Gift Pup. Wow, so Inazuma tech out here and already a couple of places where Inazuma could sit in front and start to cause a bit of problem for Noise. So Wild Side going to give cards to Noise and money to Polana. There's Aesops as well. Pretty nice early draw for Oisin.
Whilst you might not have pancakes, the dream of pancakes is giving me money. All those drinks you have in the club, Polana.
So Oisin's hand looked like Deja Vu, Parasite. Didn't catch what the 4th card was. He is going to go and check R&D, second click. Ashigaru, wow. Jordan says no, and I think knowing that he's about to get a credit every turn for the runner, he's quite happy to sit and put up the early defenses. Apologies about the camera shake, guys. It will be stable throughout most of the video. So Ashigaru, pretty prime targets, 9 to res, so pretty prime target for Parasite. Wouldn't be surprised to see that come down pretty soon. At this point, these guys had got quite an audience around them. We were down to playing 1 game at a time in the last 4 in the bottom, in the lower bracket. So these guys did have quite a few viewers. I think most people actually on the side of Jordan, doing our best not to give too much away when seeing his vast array of agendas and traps getting plopped down. So there's a cash, which is nice. Going to see a mill. Takes the credit straight away, of course. Anyone unfamiliar, you install cash for 1 that comes in with 3 virus counters by default, which you can then spend to gain a credit. So it basically nets you 2 credits and a mill as Noise, and nothing again from the second mill of the game. Grimoire in hand, which is pretty great. We're going to see that cash probably sold off by Aesops next turn, so Oisin getting his start not too bad at all. Jordan going to continue to draw. We know he's got a second Celebrity Gift in hand and a single advance and a credit. Wow, okay, so didn't actually get to see what has gone down there. He gets his credit as well straight away from Wild Side. Not sure what that is in the remote actually. And I don't feel like Oisin's in a great place to threaten it, but here we go with a Parasite. A Data Sucker token off Archives and then a run on to R&D, highly likely here. Oh, Mills and Nisei, okay, takes the 2-0 lead and Nisei is probably one of the better agendas he could choose to hit. We don't get to see quite what he sees off the top, but gains a Data Sucker back and that's fine. And didn't Jordan try and sneak out a Nisei here? Before any breakers at the table, did he try and get an agenda out in this remote?
It was ridiculous. And you didn't see a single sweep. That was painful. That was awful.
Jordan checking through his ice. Not sure exactly what he's got in his mind. You'd like to think it's probably an Inazuma in front of a secondary piece of ice on that remote.
Lovely guy.
My idea, man. Strong idea. I'm not sure.
He's possibly, if this is an agenda, he was possibly thinking, does he want to advance it or does he want to defend R&D? It looks like he's going to advance it, and we see an unorthodox predictions, and Jordan states there can be no sentries broken on this turn. I doubt that's going to be an issue for Oshin. I actually don't think he's going to be planning on face planting into any sentries this turn, but that might lead to a secondary agenda score for Jordan. I think these guys had actually played in the Swiss round, and Oshin just making a comment saying, I didn't see that during the last game. Have you changed your deck completely since Swiss?
I'm not going to read a subtle request for a deck check.
There was a good bit of banter with all the guys around the table. They definitely were focused at moments, but overall they were having a great giggle with the guys who were watching alongside. Sounds like the North and Southern Irish are maybe throwing some accusations Jordan's way that he's been completely changing his deck between rounds, but no, we did deck check everybody and he was absolutely on point. So Data Sucker's going to get Aesops, which I think is definitely a legitimate play. Obviously letting Wildside trigger first and then getting a couple of cards into hand before you make that start of turn Aesop's decision is always good to do. Deja Vu is going to bring the Parasite and Cash back. Oh, Parasite Data Sucker, sorry. Oh, sorry, excuse me, Cash Data Sucker. Which is going to give some econ back to Oshin. And are we going to see Data Sucker come down? I think if you listen carefully there, you might have heard me giving a small amount of scolding to some of the guys watching just to ensure that they kept quiet just a little bit and didn't give anything away to either opponent. I think one of the most difficult things as a Netrunner player, and this was the first tournament that I was involved in organising, is watching people play and trying to bite your tongue sometimes. When there's so much secret information, so many crucial turning points in every game, you need to be very careful you don't give anything away, especially if you're anywhere near the game. So click one draw for Jordan. He is running two Batty and one Caprice Nisei, so he does have some upgrade tech, which could be indeed what's in that remote currently. Oshin's going to keep doing his thing, just selling stuff off with Aesops, wild siding, and hopefully going to find his adjusted chronotype as Pancakes soon. But for now, it's going to continue to invade him. Mimic's good though, starts to protect against Kamainu's pups.
Which way?
Yeah, the pup pops out. Now you can pay 2 credits for the breaking, or you can pay 2 credits for the subroutines, whichever you prefer. He's going to see a card, and it's an Inazuma. Okay, so we saw 2 from the Celebrity Gift, 1 still in hand for Jordan. And a Clot hits the table for another mill. Oh, did we miss that mill actually? Oh, I think there was actually a correction there. Okay, yeah, so the guys realised that had to be milled, and then he did a fresh mandatory draw. And oh my goodness, with the Psychic Fields being seen in the bin, he's managed to sneak out a Brain Trust, 3-2.
I'm making a point of looking down here. It's your turn. Wildside draws you some cards. Yeah, no, you guys are giving hints. I do like that everyone's scattered from behind me, actually. It's like, no, we don't want to see. Yeah, pretty much.
So making an entrance, unfortunately, a bit of a dead card in Oshin's hand right now because his first click does go to Wildside. He's going to get to check the bins. The Edge of World, Secret Tech, Jackson Hard, and wasn't sure, I think it looked like a Strength 5 piece of ice. Not sure, probably Kamaini that was maybe. Or 5 to res, sorry. Off the top of R&D.
Really annoyed. The temptation to put that in this deck was... Actually, you'd have to click, so... Yeah. That's fine. Last click.
And Pop's going to bite the dust. We're going to get a mill for the Parasite.
Okay.
Per Pop. So Oshin just a little stuck for cash and a little stuck for clicks right now. That being said, HQ and R&D completely undefended. If he could draw into a medium, all of a sudden Jordan could be under a huge amount of pressure. Only one medium in Ocean's deck though. Yeah, so pretty legitimate ice over R&D there. Gotta say it's a pretty wise play and takes a credit.
Stop with the feet. Yeah. Oh, cameras. Is it so red, like? Bottom left? Red light? Yeah. Oh, it's all good.
So Oshin, I really like what he's doing here. He's taking his wild side, popped the cards aside, and just taking a moment to look at the board state and have a quick think. He's thinking about ASOPs, he's thinking about what's currently ongoing. Does he need this stat sucker? Is it really doing anything for him? Or are the 3 credits better? And he has a look at what he's drawn. Bearing in mind, if he sells off the data sucker, he could then just deja vu it straight back alongside a cash and start getting himself a little bit of a burst economy. So it looks like he decided not to sell it. Cash and Parasite, maybe? Yeah, Cash and Parasite coming back. Cash probably going to come out here straight away. Yes, it does. And there's actually no Cyberdex Virus Suite in Jordan's deck. He's not trying to fast advance. He is trying to sort of play this never advance game where you pop the agenda down, leave it there, turn in and score the next one. Which does mean that Oshin can kind of freely farm some cards out of archives, and we have an install new remote, protect new remote, and advance the card in that new remote. Now I must admit, if I was Oshin here, I would be tempted to run that. How bad can one advancement be? You know, it could be Shreeb Overrider, it could be Aggressive Secretary, it could be a Junebug, but when you've got a hand that size he does... Wow, he pops a Hades Shard straight from hand for 7 credits and is going to score only a Chronos project for that. So 7 credits to essentially subvert any potential Jackson res. Maybe he's thinking that that card in the first remote is Jackson Hard and wanted to ensure that he grabbed something without the opportunity for Jordan to respond. And did cash after it, which is just... I'm not sure if that was maybe the perfect click action tracker. And oh my word, Jordan has been cheeky. And it's a medical breakthrough, meaning his next medical breakthrough is a 3-2. Wow, this game is fast and furious. The agendas are flowing pretty quickly here. And there's medium for Oshin. He decides to go imp though. Takes a second.
Oh, this isn't nice.
He's going to hit the hand. Extra data sucker, and does he need the imp counter to deal with this? What's that in hand? It's a hedge fund, decides to imp it. Jordan on 11 credits, not doing too bad. He hasn't really been forced to res a huge amount. That single celebrity gift early on, and alongside the sweeps week, has really tided him over. And then the wild side credit every turn from Palana's ability has just enabled him to focus on installing and advancing rather than having to play operations. Once again, oh, it's a Nisei. We're tied up 5-5. Oh man.
No, sorry.
So this turn is wide open. Oh my word, that was also an agenda. Wow, the entire time Jordan had left an agenda on the table while also scoring out an agenda in a separate remote. Absolutely fantastic play, and I don't know if you hear over me there that there's a bit of applause from the guys, and also a biotic as well. Fantastic from him going through into the lower bracket final against Dial then, so you can follow along into that video on the right and see who makes it back up to the grand final, or you can watch the previous video on the left hand side, guys. Thanks so much as ever for staying and watching along.